Hi, I'm Julia Bergenis with Missouri Star, and I lead the HR team here. I have been an avid quilter for 25 plus years, but in my downtime, I do spend some research to look at other things, crafting, different types of disciplines in the art of fabric, and I'd like to take you into a tiny bit of my world in how I use mixed fibers with wool applique. And I will tell you in the beginning, applique I was very afraid of just because there's so many beautiful things out there that people do with it, from traditional cotton applique, and there's many ways that you can do that. The one thing I love about the wool is that it's very forgiving. So it's something you can take with you. You can do it while you're watching TV. You can take it to the doctor's office. And it's just one of those types of crafts that's very transferable and something you just can pick up and go. So back in about 10 years ago, a very dear friend, Renee Nanneman, who is with Needle Love, she had hosted one of our retreats with us, and we'd asked her to do a project for us, something that would get us out of everyone's comfort zone in learning how to do something different than just sitting around and piecing quilts. Not that that's not fun, but we wanted to just enhance some skills and get some additional experience in just trying different things. So she created this beautiful sample for us. And as you will see, it has a little bit of embellishment, but I love the colors that she chose, and also the fact that she tends to use linen on the back side of her patterns. We've basically got the foundational pieces done at the retreat. Everybody loved it. It was a great hit. You had the option to either make a pillow or a wall hanging, and it still hangs in my quilting room today. And reminds me of, okay, I've come a long way from where I started with wool applique. The second thing I'd like to show you is another designer by the name of Rebecca Smith. And she does incorporate wool with traditional cotton. Again, I did this on the machine, so you don't have to do it by hand, and it still gives a very pretty look to it. The sample that attracted me was not only this, but she has a book that is from the early 1900s folk art. And this is basically takes the place of a sewing caddy that ladies would use instead of having, an actual sewing machine, because everything was done by hand. You've got your little pin cushion, you can put your scissors. But the thing I loved about this model is the fact that they used a pocket from a gentleman's wool blazer to put on the back to give additional storage space, if you will. That's a great little project to do, and it doesn't take very long. The other thing I have done is wool on wool. This is a very traditional penny mat. It's done by Stacy West at Buttermilk Basin. And again, she does a lot of button embellishments. You can either do it by hand. The thing I love about these is that you can make it very specific to the person that you're giving. So for example, for my team one year, I had an ice skater who did international or competitive skating. I have a person who loves penguins, someone that's Irish. And you can use it as a coffee mug. You can use it for candy jar on the desk. You can use it even as a candle mat, but very traditional, but something that's specific to the person that person will remember for a long time. Then I was challenged to go to a little bit more creative that I was not used to, and it was a trip to Italy, Orvieto, Italy, with two designers, again, Renee Nanneman of Needle Love, and then Lynn Schmidt of A Little Box of Crayons out of Illinois. Very different designers, and they took us on a daily walkabout in Orvieto. It sits on a cliff overlooking the valley of all the beautiful vineyards and wine country. And then we were challenged to come back and use wool, linen, different types of threads. The other beautiful thing about it, there were probably 12 to 15 participants, And we were sent this really lovely package of different fabrics, silks, linen, and we did half square triangles to trade at our retreat. That also was supposed to go around our center focal piece of the project we were working on. So I chose to use the things that I love about Italy, not only just the flowers, but the pottery. We had a beautiful tree outside our door, magnolia tree, that was in full bloom. And this is what I wanted to make. And so, as you can see, we took the half square triangles and laid it out around the focal piece, which added more dimension. It also was 3-dimension, which was very challenging in creating the flowers. This additional outside border is from a book by Felice, and it's called Tuscany. And so again, not a very creative person, I felt like I would be safe and use some of her pattern to use for the outside border. Again, it's not done. I'm not sure how I want to stitch this yet, whether I want to do a wall hanging or exactly how I'm going to utilize this, but it makes me smile every time I look at it. And so hopefully I have challenged myself within the next few months to get this done and to be able to display it on the wall. And lastly, I was challenged to learn a little bit more about embellishments, variations of thread, weights of thread, which can be very complicated if you don't understand that. And so I went to a retreat with Sue Spargo, who is located in Ohio, and it got me back to the brights that I traditionally loved in the beginning when I started quilting. And so as you will see, this is a block of the month called Tinsel that was done last year in 2023. So many people did this block of the month, but at the end it looked very differently and they were all just beautiful. There's lots of stitching, again, variations of thread, and it really just made the blocks pop instead of just doing traditional wool on wool. So I would challenge anyone, if you want to take a little dive into the realm of working with wool, just find yourself a little kit. There are so many great designers out there to work with, and then start, overcoming those fears like I did to become a better hand stitcher. Thank you again for letting me share this time with you. We'd love for you to share with us the projects that you're working on at #MSQC Show and Tell. Thanks again and cheers.